Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars Vintage Collection Imperial Troop Transport by Kenner. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. Tonight, as part of my ongoing video series dedicated to Rogue One, I thought it would be a great opportunity to review the Vintage Collection Imperial Troop Transport. Now, I realize we didn't see this particular vehicle in Rogue One. It didn't make its debut until Mandalorian live action series. However, we do know that the Empire utilized this vehicle on nearly every world where its forces were deployed. So I thought it would make a great tie-in with the Rogue One product reviews. Now, the Vintage Collection Imperial Troop Transport was first unveiled at New York Toy Fair in February of 2020. It was slated for a spring release of the same year and was immediately available through some online retailers at the time of its unveiling. This is the third iteration of the Imperial Troop Transport to be produced as a toy. This particular vehicle originated in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and the first toy was produced by Kenner in 1979, and it featured electronic sound effects and was actually the first Star Wars toy to be produced that was not featured in the original trilogy films. The second iteration of the Imperial Troop Transport was released in 2015 as part of the Star Wars Rebels toy line and was actually the final toy produced in that line. The Vintage Collection, of course, is the third iteration, and there is now a fourth version released August of this year in the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron toy line. Now, if you're watching this review and you don't know anything about this vehicle, the Ubrikian Industries K79 S80 Imperial Troop Transport, sometimes referred to as an ITT or Recon Transport, is a repulsor lift ground assault vehicle. Now, what that means is this particular vehicle utilizes repulsor lift generators to provide lift and propulsion. And the way that works is the repulsor lift generators create a negative gravity field underneath the vehicle, which counteracts a planet's natural gravitational forces, causing the vehicle to rise above the surface of the planet. In simplest terms, it's like taking two magnets and pushing them together and one of them being repelled. That's how a repulsor lift operates. So all of the vehicles that you see in Star Wars, like speeder bikes, Imperial Troop Transport, the land speeders, they all utilize repulsor lift technology. Even starfighters utilize it to slow their descent and allow them to land without crashing. This is a completely different technology than the Imperial assault tank that you see in Rogue One, which is a tracked ground vehicle. The Imperial Troop Transport is 8.77 meters in length. It is 4.5 meters in width and 3.5 meters in height. It weighs 20,600 kilograms and has a maximum velocity of 150 kilometers per hour. It's crewed by 2 combat drivers and 1 commander. It has a total crew complement of 10 stormtroopers. The vehicle was first manufactured 19 years before the Battle of Yavin. It is armed with 2 forward-mounted fire-linked medium blasters and 1 roof-mounted twin-barrel heavy blaster turret. The K79 Imperial Troop Transport costs 70,000 credits. Now, if you'll notice on the box art of the vehicle, you've got the actual product and a simulated play experience, and you've got the stormtroopers and the side racks, and some on the ground. And I want to quickly point this out. The vehicle is not in scale to the action figures. The actual vehicle would be about 40% larger than what you see on the box art. So it does not include any action figures. However, I do have 3 of these Vintage Collection Rogue One Stormtroopers that we are going to utilize for this product review. Okay, here's the Imperial Troop Transport outside of the packaging, and it does arrive packaged fully assembled with the exception of the roof-mounted heavy blaster turret. So I'm going to open this up and remove that, and on the inside you've got your instruction sheet, which simply details the features of the vehicle as well as how to attach the roof-mounted turret and how to place the stormtroopers in the outside racks, as well as the interior folding seats and the interior weapon rack inside the vehicle, and how the roof comes off. We're going to take this and just plug it onto that port like that, and you can see that the turret will rotate 360 degrees and elevate as well. That's really cool. I do like that. Really, really nicely done. And the forward mounted blasters look a little warped, but if you use a hair dryer on low setting for about 40 seconds to get them pliable, you could reposition them and maybe tape them in place so that as they cool down, they'll hold that new position all the way around. Really, really nice. Weathering, blaster marks, grease marks, things like that. On the bottom, you can see it's got 3 wheels, 2 at the back and 1 at the front to allow it to roll. Now let's talk about the features. We'll start up front with the command crew compartment. And the side doors do open, and you can see it's got a nicely detailed cockpit. There's some controls and displays. You've got your physical control columns there for the vehicle. It's got a heads-up display on it. Seats in there, nice detailing all the way around, all kind of controls and things molded in to the back panels, the top panels, the center console. Really nice. Now again, this vehicle does not include any action figures, and the box art shows a stormtrooper driving the vehicle, but that's not correct. You need an Imperial combat crewman, and this is from the Jedha Revolt box set from Rogue One. We're going to see if this guy will fit in there. Yes, he will. And see if we can get his hand on the control column. Yes. There you go. How about that? That looks really cool. Now these are the 6 exterior troop racks. And the way that these operate, and I'm going to remove the roof section so that I can show you guys this. There are 4 jump seats inside the troop bay for 4 stormtroopers, and you can see they're staggered. There's 2 molded in the back. They do not fold down. These, as you can see, fold up and down. Okay, so you don't have to have them folded down. You can have them folded up and line your stormtroopers up in here, but the problem is they would have to squat down. That's why I said it's out of scale, because they should be able to stand up on the interior of the vehicle, and they can't. So you can fold them down like that and take your stormtroopers. Let's see, he's got some really tight joints here that are really, really wonky, seems like. Yeah, legs all twisted around. There we go. You can take your stormtroopers and they'll sit in the jump seat like that. As far as the exterior racks are concerned, they can also fit in the exterior racks like this. Now, the 2 rearmost racks, the center rack and these rearmost racks, do not have an opening door. The forward racks do. So you can position the stormtroopers to jump out and exit the vehicle. You've also got the the rear hatch that opens up where you could position them, you know, crawling out of the rear like that. But you can have them in the racks. It's just very confined and very small. Now, another feature on the interior is the weapons racks. So you can take blasters and push them into place like that. See if I can get this one to fit. You can mount the weapons in there like that. So here's the roof panel. You can see the top. This is the interior. A lot of nice molded detail, like vents and stuff for air circulation and all of that. More molded detail here for the machinery in the top of the cab. And just take it and angle it down like that. There is a roof hatch where you could have someone, you know, climbing out of the roof or whatever. Then of course you got your roof mounted heavy blaster turret, which will rotate 360 degrees as well as elevate. And it looks like it's got maybe 30 or 35 degrees of elevation, if that much. Overall, this is a fantastic vehicle. I am certainly happy they chose to produce this. I think it is awesome. I also think it is extremely overpriced. Realistically, you shouldn't have to pay more than $40 for this vehicle, and on the aftermarket with sites like eBay and Amazon from third-party sellers, you're going to pay upwards of $60 or more for this thing new in the box. I actually bid on this one on eBay and got it for $49. That was a really good deal, in my opinion, as compared to what others are asking for the toy. But again, it really isn't worth more than $40. If you're a Star Wars collector, you definitely want this in your collection. You know, if you're really serious about collecting Star Wars toys, you're going to want a couple of these to collect and to display, and having a couple of these to put in the background for toy photography are going to work really, really well. I think the vehicle is definitely a must-have. So there you have the Star Wars Vintage Collection Imperial Troop Transport by Kenner.